Name tag, crazy with it. Straight gifted, I'm straight ripping. Man, that's all standing. Oh, so crazy.
Conversations worth having. Question of this episode. Dang, I gotta make it brief because I done left my water bottle behind, and my mouth about to be dry like crazy. So I'm gonna try to speed through this. But with a valuable conversation, though. Again, cultural conversations worth having. And the question is, did rap groups and rap labels evolve into content creator agencies or more media companies, multimedia companies? And I asked that because I was thinking about it, like how you had Cash Money at one point. Obviously that wasn't just Birdman and Slim just putting out records, and it was a collective. It was something you wanted to be a part of during that time. You think about I got my notes right here. I gotta blow these up. Damn, I hate I left my water, man. Then you got Rockefeller for sure. Like hell, I even say it all the time in songs where I was growing up, like during some of my most impressionable years of listening to hip hop, I wanted to be on Rockefeller Records, right? It was either Rockefeller Records or Barack Records in Detroit, which was the home of Slum Village, Athletic Mike Lee, Fat Cat. But also you had like G Unit, Rough Riders, who else? A Dungeon Family. I always say Dungeon Family is like the key, one of the key most important hip hop collectives today. You know what I mean? Just because so much that they spawn. You got so many children from the Dungeon Family umbrella, right? Children, grandchildren, you name it, right? You knew who belonged to each crew. You know what I'm saying? You could, oh, so-and-so, that's my man's. He's from, he's down with so-and-so in the Dungeon Family. Or that's so, yeah, he was signing Cash Money. Yeah, you remember, you was anticipating like solo records from Wayne, Juvie, BG, G-Unit even. Like G-Unit, man, when they had that crazy run after 50 had dropped, and Banks drop, then Young Buck, you know what I'm saying? But I say that because it was still like rap crews. And I think now I'm looking at it, man, just sometimes where it comes to like hip hop, because to me, this insane boom that we're seeing continue on with podcasting, right? That's, to me, that's still hip hop. That falls under the umbrella of hip hop. I'm talking about specific podcasts. Like, I remember tuning into Joe Budden podcast where it was called I'll Name This Podcast Later, for when I remember hearing that for the first time. I remember Drink Champs, you know what I'm saying, hearing that for the first time. And I always felt like post Combat Jack show, whatever, I think Joe Budden was like the again, I'm looking at it like from a label perspective, but he had like Joe Budden where it was like that was the group. You know what I mean? Like one of the prime groups in like how it would be for a rap crew in hip hop or a rap music or whatever, popular mainstream rap music, I should say. Let me make sure we're talking about mainstream here. With Joe Budden, they was like early on, they were like that prime rap crew or whatever. Not saying that they are now, but I'm talking about just comparing it to like that of a rap group or whatever. And then like to me, Nori with Drink Champs was like that that ecosystem, you know what I mean? As far as like what hip hop podcast became, what it is, what the idea was. Oh, we do a podcast, we got to drink. We gotta, we gotta tell stories, even though on Drink Champs, it led up to the stories. And, but some shows now it's just like they jumping right to the stories, so they jump right to drink. But it's like those two podcasts at the time was the format. To me, of course, obviously what predates it, you got Wind Up, Combat Jack, like I said earlier. But anyway, it reminds me of like how it was like seeing certain rap groups or rap labels coming up. You know what I mean? Like I said, Cash Money, of course, No Limit, Rough Riders. I said G Unit, Dungeon Family wasn't. Damn, was Dungeon Family? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that. I don't know for sure if Dungeon Family was also a label or a side of it being a rap collective, right? So I don't know. Y'all can correct me on that. I have to do my research. And I'm wondering that did the crew itself, it was a part of culture. Like I say, you knew who was part of what crew, whatever. And again, I think that's what we're seeing now with these I don't want to keep saying hip hop pod. Like I would, if that's the case, I got to throw myself. I'm a hip hop podcast. You know, I don't want to like label it that way. But I'm talking about like from podcasts that were spawned by artists or MCs. You know, obviously they recorded music or whatever, and they are doing podcasting now or doing both, which I think is great. You know what I mean? Joe Budden's thing was his thing, like, yo, I'm retired. I ain't doing this shit no more. But he also showed that, damn, even Nori got to still get active here and there. But then you got a Fat Joe, you got Jadakiss. They're still active, putting out music or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You got Let's Rap About It podcast. They are MCs or whatever that's still actively putting out music. So it's like, damn, you seeing that it can be done. So that's when I got to thinking, like, literally watching an episode of Let's Rap About It. I'm like, damn, are like the hip hop podcast collabs the new, and it's its own thing, but just if we're comparing, is that like the new, is that what it was for us, or at least in my era coming up, is that what it was for me seeing like just large rap collectives like a Dungeon Family? Again, we talked about G Unit, you know what I'm saying, Cash Money all together or whatever, right? And I'm just using a few examples because I'm trying to keep the episode short. But yeah, I think like the latest model I can think of that is like a TDE or Dreamville. You had Joey Badass and then with Pro Era. Even like Odd Future as a collective. It's like I feel like we've watched that grow, and I'm kind of repeating myself, but we're watching that evolve into something now where you got these artists who they're not just, it's not a rap crew anymore, and it's not like a rap label. It's not like, oh, I'm a rapper, but I also got a clothing line. I got a record label as well. Fuck with me. It's like, nah, I'm a rapper. I got merch, clothing or whatever, but at the same, we also a multimedia company. That's what we're seeing now. And it's like, wow, this is just crazy to see like where hip hop has come with that. I would even say like on the comedy side, like Kev on Stage, same thing. Like it's mad folks that I've become familiar with because of Kev on Stage and the Stage Crew, which spawned you. To me, that's how I got familiar with who a Patrick Cloud was, or Tony Baker, to hear more, Angel, just that whole crew over there, which led me on to a podcast like Daddy Issues because of Tony Baker, Verbal Cardio, and then because of Daddy Issues, I know who Keon Poley is, who's funny as hell. DC Irvin, shout out to Chaz Rogers and Craig Wayans. You know what I'm saying? Like you get familiar with these people through these collectives, and I'm like, that it feels like to me now how that was at one point where we were familiar with rap crews back then, or rap labels. And I just think that's so dope to see like just the podcasting space become that now. And it's like, damn, this is like, damn, it's like the new rap groups and record labels. But that was just on my mind. I just noticed like now, but one could argue too with music, because now I'm just rambling, but it's still on the same, you know, I don't want to get too far off topic, but my only concern with that is like the music is not the main focus anymore. It's more so like it's the personality and the content, which then breeds the audience, which because of that audience, it breeds community. And then from there now, oh yeah, I do music too. Or if they know you from music already, then great. If you already had a career that existed before you get into podcasting or other forms of content. So it always makes me concerned with that, but it's still nonetheless dope that just hip hop has come this far and seeing what it expand to. I only had a few notes on it because I didn't want to just ramble and come here and freestyle on that like that, but for the most part I did. But what is this, episode 78? I'll catch y'all on the next go round. Got to figure out what my topic going to be. If y'all got questions, submit them. I'll put the link. It's going to be a link to the Discord actually within the description of this episode. But until then, this has been episode 78. I will catch y'all the next go round for A Name Tag Is Necessary. Music and cultural conversations worth having. Share this food on your feeds. Peace.